properly planning your practice session is one of the best ways of making sure that you're really achieving something during those practice sessions. I recommend breaking things down into 3 bigger parts of your practice session. The first being warm-up and technique, the second being your repertoire work, and then the third and final being time for reflection and recording. Let's just jump into those headings a little bit deeper. So in your warm-up, it's not just about warming up your fingers. Actually, it's great to warm up your body and your mind before you even touch the strings. If you're not in the right place, if you don't have the right mindset before you go to the harp, if there's all other things swimming around your head, you're not going to have the right focus that you need at the harp. So you definitely want to make sure that you're setting things aside, you're ready to sit down, focus your practice and focus on your harping. Once you've done that, do some dynamic stretching. Make sure your muscles are warm. Think about your fingers as athletes. They're about to run a marathon when they're playing the harp. You've got to warm them up before they take on that challenge. Once you've warmed up before you touch the strings, then you want to actually warm up your fingers on the harp strings. Now take it slow. You're not trying to impress anyone. Super fast scales can sound great, but they don't warm your fingers up in a slow, methodical way. So make sure you're choosing technical exercises that are linked to the skills you need for your repertoire, but that warm your fingers up slowly and methodically and really warm them up fully. Then you want to move on to your repertoire work. And I like to think about practicing repertoire in 3 different ways. Practice for perfecting, practice for performing, and practice for pleasure. Practice for perfecting, taking small sections out, making sure that you're working on getting things really right, smoothing out any issues, practicing any technical skills you need to really achieve that piece of repertoire. And remember, when you take sections out, you must put them back into context. So if you've taken a bar out and you're working on just that bar, make sure to then put it back in and work on that line. Don't just play your repertoire from start to finish. You're only going to get the start really good. You've got to take out those middle sections and make sure you're working on them too. Practice for performance. Make sure that you feel comfortable and confident sharing your music. Make sure that you can play from start to finish and it sounds good. And finally, possibly the most important, practice for pleasure. Remember why you decided to learn the harp. It was so that you could have fun. It was for your own enjoyment. If you're not enjoying it, something's wrong. So make sure that you're choosing things you enjoy playing, that you're enjoying your time at the harp, and you're practicing for pleasure. And the final thing is to make sure that you are reflecting and you're recording at the end of your practice session. Ensure that you're on track with your goals, that you're staying focused, that you're looking back on your learning journey and assessing what's been good, what's been not so good. How do you want to adjust your learning path in the future? This will help you properly structure your practice for your next practice session.